Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of Alive with Jasmine. I am so excited that you're here today, and I hope you're going to have a great weekend. I know I will. I'm super pumped about it being Friday. Yay! All right, so today we are talking about the basics of setting up your cameras and your life really to record video so that you can be more visible. We want to create a professional setting or as professional as we can and easy. If it's hard, you're not going to do it. So, I'm going to give you some tips on helping to make this a little bit simpler. We'll go through some basics. There may be one or two advanced steps for those of you who are a little bit more advanced in the tech space. But overall, this is going to be a great way for you to learn how to set your life up for success so that you can be more visible and generate more leads, make more sales, make more money, and have the job, well, the career that you dream of, the life that you dream of. So, are you guys ready? I'm ready. And I'm trying something new with my notes so I can stop wasting as much paper. So, we'll see how this goes. All right. So, the first thing we want to talk about are cameras. You need a camera in order to record your video. You can't be visible without it. So there are a couple of things that you can do. I highly recommend smartphone. Okay. If modern day smartphones are very advanced and they can do a lot of things. So I'm an iPhone girl. This is, I think, a 14 or a 13. I don't remember which one, but it's a pretty good camera, right? It's got 4K resolution. Most modern phones do. I know the Androids do. And I will say, and this will be out here forever because what's on the internet stays on the internet. Android cameras are typically a lot better than the iPhone cameras, although the iPhone cameras are getting better. But most modern smartphones will record in 4K resolution, which gives you high detail and a lot of clarity. They also will record in 60 frames per second, which means it will help you to have really smooth slow mo videos. So if you're doing something that's kind of cool, where I don't know, like you're walking or you're shooting like ocean waves and you want them to go really slow, slow motion, then the 60 FPS and higher is really great for that, for like that smoothness that you're looking for. There's also something called optical image stabilization. And what that means is it helps to reduce some of the blurriness when you're holding your phone. I look, when I'm holding my phone and I'm trying to record something, as I'm talking, I'm breathing. As I'm breathing, my arm is moving. See, look, my camera's moving itself. But as I'm breathing, I'm talking. As I'm talking, I'm breathing. As I'm breathing, my camera's moving. So the OIS really helps to stabilize what's in your background. And so it reduces that blurriness from the camera shaking. There's something that you may have noticed on your phone and you didn't know what it did. It's called HDR recording. It stands for high dynamic range. And so HDR recordings, they really enhance the video quality of whatever it is that you're shooting. It captures a lot more detail when things are both light and dark in the same scene, which gives you a, a more vibrant and realistic video. So that's really great. And I am actually a fan of the cinematic mode on my iPhone. When I record like time lapses and different things like that, I love doing things in cinematic mode. It just, I don't know, it feels more like, I don't know, I feel a little bit more Spielbergish, I guess. I don't know. I like it. Um, the other thing is the cameras themselves. So you have multiple cameras. I don't know if you have multiple cameras on the back of your phone. And so you have wide, ultra wide, and telephoto lenses on these phones. You can also buy external lenses just like you would a DSLR camera that can go on the back of your phone, and they help you to have a variety of perspectives and zoom capabilities. So that's really fun too. You also, with the phone, you have your jack down here. For this is the lightning or yeah, this is the lightning port. It can be a USB-C, it can be with a 3.5 millimeter jack, but you can have, excuse me, an external microphone. So this is part of my microphone set. This is the jack for the 3.5 millimeter. This is to go in a USB, but you can have an external microphone that you basically just you clip onto yourself, and it'll help to enhance the audio. And what's really good is if you have one, like I have another one, it's not close by, but I have another one that's wireless, another microphone that's wireless. And when you have the microphone, you can have the camera further away from you and people can still hear you. That's really important, because what's the point of having this great looking video if no one hears what you have to say because your camera source is too far? All right. The other great thing with the smartphones is that they have um, in-house capabilities for editing your videos. So on the smartphone, on the iPhone, you have iMac or iMovie. You have iMovie, and that's also on the MacBook computers. You have others that are on that are in the Android as well. And so we'll go through a little bit of those in just a second. But this allows you to trim, add effects, and do so much more. And then also you have like seamless sharing capabilities when you're using your phone, because it's already on your phone. If you're trying to upload to TikTok or Instagram or Facebook and you don't have the desktop versions, like for TikTok, I don't think you can upload to TikTok on the desktop if you don't have a creator account. Um, and the same thing with Instagram. So if you're on your phone and you're just starting out, you don't have a creator account, you don't have a business account, then you can just boop boop boop. You've done your video, it looks good, you've done some editing to it. Now, boom, you can just upload it and send it directly to whatever platform you wanted to use. So it's very easy that way. So the other camera that you might want to consider is a DSLR or mirrorless camera. Now, these are going to provide you higher quality videos. They're bigger, they're heavier, they look more professional. They also cost a little bit of money. So if you already invested, $1,400 in an iPhone, then maybe you don't want to go the DSLR route just yet, but keep that in your back pocket. So this is one of those things that might be a little bit advanced for some, but right on target for others. So with the DSLR or the mirrorless camera, you're going to get a much more professional look, higher quality, especially in like lower light. And you're going to have all these interchangeable lenses. Now, look, I am not a photographer by trade, so I stick with the basics. I have a DSLR camera. I love my DSLR camera. It has one lens. I do not know exactly how to use it. I fiddled around until I got it where I looked good on camera. Everything around me looked the way I wanted it to look, and I never ever touch it again. So if you are, if you're a camera geek, then this is it's way simpler for you. But what's really great with using the other lenses is you have like these manual controls for like white balance, overexposure, shutter speed, all the things that professional photogs know exactly what it is. And luckily, I know hundreds of professional photographers. So when you do work with me and you have questions about things like that, where I do not know the answer, I know people who know the answer. So I'm able to get that for you pretty easily. Um, and yeah, I literally, I set it and forget it because I can't. I just can't. All right. So stabilization, you need a tripod. Okay. You need something that will stabilize your camera when you are recording. So having a tripod is great. Having a gimbal is great. The gimbal, it helps you to be able to move the camera with a lot of smoothness. So I love my gimbal. I'm still learning how to work mine to the best of its ability, but it's really great because it keeps everything just nice and smooth. So you want to invest in the best quality that you can afford, but don't go crazy. But I do highly, highly, highly recommend when you get a tripod, don't get a super cheap one because it won't last. You might break your camera because they're not often equipped to stand up to wind, or any type of like slight breeze. They might be too light to actually hold your camera or your phone for any length of time, and it can just whoop tip right over. And you don't want to do that. You don't want to break a multi-hundred-dollar investment over a $5 piece of equipment. So get the best that you can afford. If you're going to do a lot of outdoor shoots, then you might want to get a tripod that's a little bit more substantial, a little bit more stable and heavy. Okay. Lighting. Now we talk about lighting quite a bit on these lives because lighting is so important. It's one of those things where, you can have the best content, but if the lighting sucks, no one is going to watch it. And I go back to my example of doing a video to show people how to correct bad lighting, and no one watched it. It's the least watched video across all of my platforms because the lighting sucks. No one wants to watch a video with crappy lighting. So, have some good lighting. And so in with that, um natural light is amazing. It's amazing, but you can't control Mother Nature. That's the problem. You don't want to use light in certain natural light in certain times. So, some of the great times to use natural light are what we call the golden hours. And that's when it's the first hour after sunrise for you early birds and the first hour before sunset. The light is soft, it's warm, and it flatters everyone. So, those are great, great times to start recording something. You don't want to have the midday sun because that can be harsh. It causes strong shadows and highlights. No one looks good. But if you have to shoot in the midday, then try to find some ways to diffuse the light with like some shaded areas. But you also need to be mindful of the shade because the shade will cast shadows. So you have to play around with it a little bit. But you always want to face your light source. So whether you're using a window, then you want to your face needs to be looking at the window. It should not be behind you unless you're using diffusers and different things to help with the light. But you want to make sure that the light is in front of your face, and this camera has to stop doing its thing. Hold on, let me see if I can fix that. Okay. Okay. My camera on my webcam has an artificial intelligence feature that I must have like hit by mistake, and it'll track me. So if I move a lot with my hands and my body, so as I move, the camera moves, and it's really annoying. So my apologies for that. Um, so back to the light. So you want to face your light source, because if you're backlit, then you become a silhouette and it doesn't look flattering unless it's, like a witness protection kind of a thing, in which case you do you. All right. So this one is a little bit more advanced. This is for my folks who want, to go to the next level here. Reflectors. So reflectors, you probably have seen those when you've seen like movie shoots or professional photographers on TV or in person. If you've done a photo shoot, they're usually like silver, white, and gold. And so these reflectors, they help to bounce light onto the subject, you, and they provide like even illumination. Reflectors are great. I don't use them. I had some. I gave them away. They were a little too much for me. But use you can also use diffusers. So we have reflectors and diffusers, and deflectors help to soften the light, reduce some harsh shadows and highlights. You can use like white bed sheets or some, diffusers that you purchase online. Um, and windows, like shades and all that, they make a great source of natural diffused light. So, like this window here, I don't get a ton of sunlight in this window, so I keep the shade down. But it does help to add a little bit of brightness, but not too harsh to compete with my other lights because I have lights all around me here. So it just helps control some things. Now, here's the one thing, like overcast, if you're talking about natural light, overcast days, they provide soft, diffused light, which is ideal for video recordings because it reduces all those harsh shadows that I was talking about. You just want to experiment no matter what you do with different angles and positions relative to the light sources that you are using. Just find the most flattering light for you. So again, I have three lights. We're talking now artificial lights. I have a ring light, which is great for vlogs and close-ups and things like that. I also have some LED lights, um, which are like the ring lights, but without the ring itself. I find the ring is too harsh on my eyes when I am doing hours of recording at once. My eyes can't take it. There's also something called softbox lights that I love. I don't have room for them here. Those are actually my favorite. But the softbox lights, they're usually pretty tall. They come on huge stands, about 6 feet or so. The lights themselves are about this big, that long. They're shaped kind of like a cone, like a pyramid with a wide front and a pointed back that attaches to the pole. And so that gives you some diffused light and some nice um, lights that you can control the warmth and the coolness of them like you would the LED desk lights that I have here, but they go up high, which just helps with a different type of lighting. So those are really fun too. And again, it's something that you need to kind of play around with. I help you with that as well, and I have professional lighting folks who can help with that as well. So that's always fun. All right, so we talked a little bit about microphones, and you want to have good audio. Audio is key. So poor sound quality can kind of suck on built-in microphones. So we talked about the smartphone, your phone has a microphone in it, obviously. It's fine for the most part, but it's not going to be stellar. So that's why we talk about using external mics, because the built-in microphones typically have what's called a narrow frequency response, which means they can't capture the full range of sound. They lack the sensitivity to capture like subtle nuances in audio, and it just leads to a lack of depth and detail. And they're also more prone to struggling to clearly capture dialogue and specific sounds if you're in a noisier environment. So having the external microphone is really great. So the built-in mic works best if the sound source, like your phone, is closer to you. So if you're doing, just a video and just out, and you decide, hey, I'm going to shoot a quick video right now, then hey, that's totally fine. Okay. So that's a great time to use it for like these casual recordings, the quick clips. And vloggers who are trying to capture like everyday moments, then you know, the internal built-in microphone, totally cool. Some other microphones that you can use, the lavalier, the lapel mic, called a lot of different things. This was one example of it. You just literally, you clip it onto your lapel, um, and attach it to your phone, or if it's Bluetooth, then, connect it to your phone. They're great for on the go and interviews because it is omnidirectional, or is a single direction, not omnidirectional. Um, Shotgun mics, which I don't have, excuse me, but it is a microphone that's very long, and it's really great for, like, a lot of vloggers will use it um, to just capture the sound around them and things like that. Great for, directional audio capture. Just, it's pointing, whatever it's pointing at is what you're going to hear the best. And then you have like a USB podcast mic, which is what this is. This is for stationary recordings and voiceovers and things like that. You're not going to walk around with this and, talk as you're recording. It's to stay stable on a table or something. Okay. And so we talk about this a little bit too. So I'm not going to go too deep on it. There are some videos in the Fear No Video membership portal talking about backgrounds. So if you're not a member for that, then and you want to be, let me know because we can hook you up. But we have lots of videos there. Well, lots. I have a few talking about backgrounds, because your background is very important. The set design, as it were. Think of yourself as, your space as a theater, a stage, as a set. So it helps with a professional look. It helps to reinforce your brand, who you are, and adds visual interest. But it should also be clutter-free and clean. So don't start shooting with piles of dirty laundry in the background unless that's your brand. If your brand is dirty laundry, your brand is cleaning, or whatever it is, and you're going to use that as props, then totally have at it. Otherwise, shove it away from the camera. Don't want to see that. All right, so we touched on this a little bit in the beginning. We're going to wrap this up soon, but we touched on this in the beginning, basic editing tools. Now, editing is really important for a lot of different ways, and we're going to go through that because editing can help you to enhance your video product. It will help the video be more visually appealing. You can adjust your brightness, the contrast, your color balance. You can improve the audio quality. You can, get rid of like distracting sounds that are behind you. Music, sound effects, delete some unwanted footage because maybe you made a boo-boos. Then you can edit those out. So here are a couple, and I'm going to read off my list so I don't forget what they are, because I use like 2 editing software, like only. Oh, I froze. Okay, I only use a couple editing software, so I'm just going to read off my list. So you have iMovie, which we talked about, which is on your Mac and your iPhone. It's user friendly for beginners. It's built into your operating system already. Windows Movie Maker is another simple editing tool that is built into Windows. Some advanced editing tools are Adobe Premiere Pro. I've used it. It's not terribly difficult, but it does take some learning. It's a professional grade software. You have Final Cut Pro, which is advanced editing. I've used Final Cut Pro. I love it, but for what I do, it's a little too much. It's like I can get by with using iMovie and also something called Movavi, which is not free, like iMac, like iMovie or Windows Movie Maker. But I like it. Does have a learning curve to it, and sometimes I flip between iMovie and Movavi because they do the same thing but a little bit differently. And then DaVinci Resolve, it's a comprehensive editing suite. It has a free version that's available. I've never used DaVinci Resolve to its fullest extent. I've used it maybe for a couple of minutes. I got a little frustrated, but a lot of people really like it. So that's why I wanted to make sure that I share that with you. Okay, so sorry. So I hope that this lights, camera, action session has been helpful for you. Invite you to take your, I want to invite you to take your visibility to the next level, your visibility knowledge, learning more about being visible to the next level. I'm going to drop a link in here for you. Hold on one second. All right, so I just dropped a link in for you. This is the 90 days to rock that video. It's a small group coaching session. If you are serious about mastering your brand visibility, then you want to join us. We start very soon, next week. In this program, you will get personalized guidance, hand-on training, and all the support you could ever need to become more confident in your branding, more confident in yourself, more confident in being on camera, and becoming a skilled video creator to boost your business and create the revenue that you want. Now, I did say that this is small group business coaching, so the spaces are limited. The link is in the chat. Click it and secure your place in the program. And let's make your business shine, people, because when you're visible, you make money. And when you make money, you can have the life that you want. You can leave the 9 to 5 that you might not want. You can spend more time with your family, spend more time traveling, spend more time just hanging out and living life instead of being always on someone else's clock. And so this 90 days to rock that video is great for network marketers. It's great for coaches. It's great for anyone who needs to boost their brand visibility, to be seen by their ideal clients, because if you're a secret, you're broke. When you're visible, you make money. So let's be on the visibility side. All right. All right, my friends, have a fabulous Friday, a great weekend. And again, click the link for more info and just drop me a DM if you have questions. All right. I will talk with you later. Bye, guys.